And then we've been talking about this idea for like 6 months.
Really?
And it was just like...
Longer than that.
Yeah,
Last year
it was like, and it's like the perfect audience for a streaming service. You know, these people have to be tech savvy.
I watch every single one of Ryan Garcia's fights on DAZN.
Yeah.
Every single one.
But it's amazing for us, Eddie's right, that obviously we're trying to attract a new audience to boxing.
Yep.
We feel that boxing has been its worst enemy over the last 20 or 30 years. There's no other sport that takes its biggest moments and puts them behind a really expensive paywall and makes it impossible for a lot of people to afford it, to find it, to buy it. It's like taking the Super Bowl and putting it behind a $100 paywall.
I'm surprised that you guys were the first to figure out how big influencer can be in terms of driving new eyes to a sport or some sort of professional entity. And I think more than just what you do for this fight, and what that means to you for your personal careers, I think this is gonna turn into something much larger down the line. NBA and like MLB, all that shit.
We've had people come on. I mean, obviously, you know, we've got to discuss Jake as well at some point.
We talk about that?
Yeah.
So I was going to ask. He made his video, and at first you were anti-YouTubers, and he said you guys spoke for 2 minutes. I don't know if that's an ample amount of time to make a deal. But
where I sat with it was, it's not that I'm against YouTubers on the card. It was just that when I'm speaking to the boxing media, I'm sort of saying that this isn't going to be a YouTube event. You know, this is a YouTube fight, but they're pro fighters, and we've got world championship boxers on the undercard. So it's not that I'm ruling out other fights on the card. That's a conversation to be had with us and DAZN and you guys as well, and we'll have that conversation as well. We want as many eyeballs on this. We're learning on the job in this market. You're the experts in this market. Yep. You know, we know how to promote fights, but this is a totally new audience. And we believe in you. That's why we've invested the money, and that's why we're here. And you guys are geniuses at what you do. So there's conversations to be had. I mean, there's also the element of there's going to be a huge amount of subscribers who join DAZN on November the 9th. I mean, there'll be them building up, but basically, as you know from the previous sales of pay-per-view, they all buy on the day, right? So when you've got a monthly subscription, as you do with DAZN, or you've got an annual pass, we need to incentivize those people to return for month 2 or to buy the annual pass. And that's what we were talking about earlier. I think this is going to open up a whole new audience where people are going to come forward and go, do you know what? I want to do that.
It's better for boxing if he fights a month or 2 months after you fight. Oh. Because if he fights on your undercard, then your audience comes in and goes, great, that was a great night. I got what I came to for, and I'm off. I'm not watching Ryan Garcia the following month. I'm not watching Canelo Alvarez. If he fights 2 months later, your massive audience stays around and watches him. And that's good for boxing. It's good for you guys.
He's already told me that once you knock out KSI, he wants your leftovers.
But why not use them?
Hey, come here. Yeah, he does.
Paul, ladies
he
and
does.
gentlemen.
The whole Paul family wants a piece of JJ.
As he sits down, I have a quick question. With the whole world watching fight number 1, to me, it seems a little risky to start making a bet on fight number 2 instead of taking all of your firepower and jamming it into fight 1 to make sure that it's successful. And when you look at Jake Paul, who has the power to drive a whole other set of eyes to the sport, why not lock that first night in and then worry about night 2? I can promise you there's 100 other influencers who, if you promise the bag that these guys are looking at, that we're not talking about today, by the way, to someone else, you can get them to fight 2 and drive the eyes.
I think that's a longer-term strategy for us, whether we view this as a one-off event or something we're going to start doing frequently. And I don't know the answer to that. Like, what I know is wasn't risky for us, but it was like quite bold where we were the ones. We knew we were going to get loads of shit from all the other promoters. And we'd already come on and say, it's a joke. What is Eddie Hearn doing? He's embarrassing, et cetera, et cetera. But they'll also be watching on November 9 going, fuck, like I did the first time around, So that's where we got to look at the strategy moving forward. And there's a strategy behind everything. If that's to bring Jake on the card and it's going to make it a bigger event, it's going to do bigger numbers for DAZN, that's something we definitely look at as well. Whether that's boxing him in December or, like he said, I'll box every month. But it's just about strategy moving forward. We can't just make our business, oh yeah, everybody, like, do you want to go? Do you want to go?
Yeah, there's strategy.
Yeah, there's got to be strategy and there's got to be skill. And I don't want people, like you did one fight on that last card, it was terrible. Like, I can't remember what it was
with
early
the kids
on.
Dancing.
Yeah, I mean, I was like...
That's where the YouTubers get tricky because they try to be YouTubers in a boxing ring.
I know. And for me, someone who grew up around the sport, that don't sit great with me. But then I watched you two fight and I was like, okay, you can fight. You won by stoppage last time out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?